NBA play-in games begin tonight, which makes it a perfect time to bring in our great friend of long standing, long before ESPN, NBA analyst Tim Legler. Tim, let's start with this. Tonight's elimination game is the play-in game between the Warriors and the Kings. Wilbon and I honestly would both like to see the Warriors in the main draw. What do you think the chances are of that?
Yeah, look, I'm with you guys as far as this goes. I try not to be a fan, but how can you not with Steph Curry? Give me more Curry, right? That's the way I always look at every postseason. So you look at this game, and here's how I think it's going to go. The Kings are shorthanded. That's a problem for them. They've got two very important players that are out, Malik Monk, Kevin Huerter. Like, that's a lot of offense. That's also extra bodies at the guard spot that you throw on a guy like Curry. So the fact that they're shorthanded combined with the way Golden State played Sabonis last year in the playoffs. They won that series. Now, it took 50 points out of Steph Curry in a Game 7, so Sacramento certainly gave them all they could handle. But ultimately, they held Sabonis, I think, 4 games in that series below his normal scoring average because they bottled him up. Draymond played him great. Looney played him great. They made him play in spaces he wasn't super comfortable with. I can see that game plan taking shape against Sabonis again. And then the fact that the Kings are shorthanded combined with Curry being the one guy of everybody involved in this game that you have the most faith in having a huge moment when it has to be had. I like the Golden State Warriors to win this game on the road and grab that another opportunity to get themselves into the playoffs.
Well, Legs, all the action, of course, as you know, is out here in the West. And the 7-8 game, Lakers Pelicans, even though, well, slightly east of New Orleans. But that game has such intrigue. The Lakers drubbed the Pelicans in New Orleans by 16 the other day, beat them 3-1 in the season series. Tim, other than the obvious advantage of size, the Lakers have a lot of it, and New Orleans not so much. What gives the Lakers an advantage? And I'm presuming you think they have an advantage in this single game tonight.
They do have the advantage. And look, you said they won the season series 3 out of 4, but the last 2 are the 2 I'm really focused on and how they attacked them. The discipline they showed in not taking what is their weakness, which is the early three-point shot. The Lakers only took an average of 33s in those 2 games, 29 and 31. Really low numbers, even by NBA standards. Those are low numbers for NBA teams to take. The reason was because they got 68 points in the paint in both games. To put that in perspective, the Lakers are second in the league, I believe, in scoring in that manner. But that was 12 points a game higher in each of those games than their season average. The discipline that they had to attack a smaller team, a weaker team, and to use their size advantage and skill advantage from their 2 best players to really dominate them in a certain way physically, to me, was the difference between the 2 teams. And then the last component always for the Lakers, who is going to give you the timely three-point shooting? They take the second fewest in the league. It's just not part of their repertoire, but you need some. In a league like this, in those 2 games, D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves combined to go 17 for 34 from the 3. So it's going to take that. There's going to be threes to be had for those 2 guys. Rui Hachimura's going to get some. You've got to make your share. You can't be a minus 18 or minus 24 or minus 30 from the three-point line despite your interior dominance. So it takes a little bit of both, and they did both of that in those 2 games, and that's why I think the Lakers will win this game, and their reward will be the Denver Nuggets.
Some reward. Let's look at tomorrow night for a second. Game 1 of our doubleheader, and it's got so much intrigue and layers to it. Miami at Philly. Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid, Legs, do they have, are they in the kind of form that is going to let either one of these guys have a clear advantage tomorrow night and maybe beyond? Are either one of those guys or both playing up to that level in your eyes?
Joel Embiid certainly is. And I know that everybody sort of held their collective breath because he came back, had a great run, looked dominant. They won a bunch of games. And then in that game 81, he goes out of the game limping. Same knee. Everybody's like, oh, here we go. We're going to be dealing with this the rest of the way. Came back into the game and finished the game and finished it strong. So I don't know what that was. Whatever it is, they say he's healthy. He had extended rest going into this because he didn't play in the last game of the season. They didn't need him that night against Brooklyn. He looks as dominant as he's ever been. Jimmy Butler's had a very strange year. Even by his standards, we know that he's more about the playoffs and all that. He has been very quiet as an offensive player over the last month. The question is, does he have that gear in this setting? in Philadelphia? Do you have that gear to go in there and dial it up and have a 30-point night? Because I think that's what it's going to take against Philly. I have no doubt Embiid is going to have a monster game because he's that fresh, he's energized, his legs feel great because of all the time off that he had. But I'm going to give you one more name that I think will be the difference in the game. Tyrese Maxey is the difference in this game. He uplifts Embiid. He's the best co-star that he has had in terms of showing up when the lights are bright. You're going to see Tyrese Maxey flourish, I think, not only in this game. I think the Philadelphia 76ers represent the biggest threat to the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference.
Here, here.
All right, we'll get you out of here on this, and I'm going to ask you got to give a very quick answer because the game is not really all that much. The Atlanta Hawks and Wilbon Chicago Bulls, not the sexiest game of all time. How much hope, honestly, should Wilbon have in 5 seconds or less?
Listen, if any game deserves a quick answer, it's that game. I can tell you that much. And I will say, listen, if you think I'm going to predict the winner of the Hawks-Bulls play-in game, I'd be in Vegas making a lot of money if I knew the outcome of that one. It's a 50-50 call, Mike. I'll give the Bulls a nod. You got it. You got it.
That's fair. Thank you, Tim, as always.
That's awesome.
Great pleasure for us.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.